It was a endless supply of fish. Everybody, I mean, it was just a bountiful ocean out there. I mean, regardless if you went for mackerel or bluefish or pompanoes or spots or croakers or offshore for tunas and dolphins. It was just an endless supply, and that's not the way it is now.
Not hardly any boats. You didn't see hardly any boats if you were in the ocean. So the ocean was really it was untouched, I guess would be a better word for it. I could go fishing and you might see 3 boats all day. Now you see 300, 400 a day on an average day. And you don't have to be good at fishing to even do some damage as far as the population goes. There used to be a lot more life, a lot more life. And I think I attribute that to water quality. But you got so much more boat traffic, so you're going to have more pollution, and you don't have as much. This whole area out here used to be nothing but marsh grass, and marsh grass is a filter. Now it's condos.
Well, pollution is probably one of the biggest things. The boats, the air, the runoff off the area golf courses. You know, you got this tremendous amount of runoff from these golf courses that we didn't have years ago. The parking lots, we didn't have parking lots around here. Mainly development, that's been the biggest thing around here, which has been put money in people's pockets, all of us. But the supply of fish and wildlife and stuff we had is declining because of the population increase and the building boom, and it's just everything just takes its toll on you.
Well, it cuts down on the estuaries for the baby fish to grow. There's ponds you used to be able to go over there and get baby shrimp, for example. And you can see baby shrimp at times next to the bulkhead over here. They're called grass shrimp. They don't grow very big, but there used to be just millions and millions of them. But if you don't have them anywhere for them to grow, they're not going to be there.
The biggest fishing industry around here for years was the menhaden industry out of Southport. And they had big motherships and spotter planes, and they would harvest millions of pounds of fish a day. And they finally figured out that they had harvested so many, and the menhaden fleet basically put themselves out of business. But it used to be off here about every day you could see a menhaden ship they had their plant called Standard Products in Southport, and they would load these big ships up with, like I say, millions of pounds of fish and take them to have them getting the oil out of the menhaden, which we used for different cosmetics, women's cosmetics and lipstick and meal for cat food and dog food. But you don't see that kind of industry around here anymore, not in our area. It's not like up in the Pamlico Sound and north of here where you get the big mothership type operations where they harvest thousands of pounds of shrimp and fish daily.
I've been on those menhaden boats when a friend of mine was one of the spotter pilots for them, and they used to take me, and we'd make daily trips out of Southport, and the spotter planes would find these big schools of menhaden, and the mothership, they had 2 crew boats that would come off the mothership with nets, and they would encircle the schools of menhaden and then they would pump them on board the mothership with big hydraulic pumps. They just pretty much depleted the menhaden because of the number they were catching, and so now you don't see any menhaden boats off here anymore.
I think somebody that doesn't take more than they need is a good handle. I mean, somebody that just goes to go fishing and kills a bunch of fish that they're gonna throw in the freezer, they're never gonna eat. I hate it with a passion. I hate it with a passion. I could see the decline coming and what that attributed to: water temperature, habitat. Without the estuaries, you're not going to have the larger fish. I don't know if you could fix it. I mean, in our lifetime, I don't think it could be fixed. And I do see the weather getting worse and worse, or it gets more extreme, should I say. But I don't want to get into global warming and that crap either. But